So Jay-Z just spoke about working with Pimp C on Big Pimping, and he made it seem like they had a solid relationship. He painted the whole situation as respectful, saying it was mostly love between them, even if they had a few creative disagreements along the way. Like that beat in the beginning. It was just like, hey, jig, man. Man, that thing too fruity, man. Like he thought he was making like the biggest commercial like sellout record, and he took some convince and he still did the song. We actually was really cool. So, here we go again with Jay-Z telling the story from his side, because a lot of people remember things very differently. There have been public reports over the years suggesting that he and Pimp C were never especially close. And we'll get into that in a second. And this is what catches people's attention. Some critics have made similar claims before. After DMX passed away, some people felt Jay-Z described their relationship in a much more positive way than what had been said publicly in the past. DMX had openly accused Jay of getting in the way of his album release, while others argued their relationship was far more complicated than simple competition. Then, after DMX's passing, some fans felt Jay's comments painted them as being on much better terms than they remembered. Now, some people believe a similar situation is happening with Pimp C. But this time, Pimp's family and people close to him have publicly pushed back. They've said Pimp C wasn't a fan of Jay-Z, and some have claimed he may have known information that could have caused major problems if it had ever come out. Pimp C's wife, Shannara, has publicly said she does not believe he died from a lean overdose, as officially reported. And Pimp C's mother has also publicly stated that she believes her son was poisoned. So, what really happened to Pimp C? And why do so many people disagree about the story surrounding his relationship with Jay-Z? Let's get into it. If you gay, that's cool, but be gay and come on out and be that. Don't be in front of us and act like a straight-up G, and then you get over here, and you letting the boy bust up your back cause you know it going to come to the light. Chad Butler, better known as Pimp C, passed away nearly 20 years ago. And people are still debating exactly what happened on December 4th, when he was found dead in his room at the Mandarin Hotel in West Hollywood. The date also happened to be Jay-Z's birthday, a detail that has often been pointed out by fans. The official ruling was that Pimpy died from the combined effects of prescription cough syrup and other medications. According to the coroner's findings, his death was ruled accidental. Officials said the combination of promethazine, codeine, and other factors contributed to respiratory depression. Even so, some people have continued to question the case because the complete autopsy report has not been publicly released. Instead, the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office issued a public statement saying his death involved the effects of promethazine, codeine, along with other contributing factors that were not fully established. Another detail that keeps people talking is what Ed Winter, the assistant chief of the coroner's office at the time, reportedly said. He stated that the levels of promethazine and codeine found in Pimp's system were elevated, but not necessarily high enough on their own to explain the death. That's where the debate grows even bigger. Pimp's wife, Shannara, later publicly said she believed he had stopped using lean and other substances, adding that to her knowledge, he was not drinking lean on the day he passed away. Actually, me and Chad used to call that rehab. No, that was our rehab. That really was our rehab. So, I've always looked at it as yep. Rehab. I've been rehabbing a long time. I don't give I barely wait, you'll call smoking rehab. That's what we call we're just going to smoke. It annoys the out of me that they say Chad died a drink, because that's not how he died. And now here's another detail that some people point to when questioning the official timeline surrounding the lean story. Shannara publicly said that Pimp C was scheduled to meet with his probation officer the very next day. He had to come back first thing in the morning cause he had to go to parole. So I mean probation. So get the hell out of here. I already hit. After his release from prison in 2005, Pimp C remained on parole until December 2009. Since he passed away in December 2007, he was still under parole supervision at the time. Because of that, it's reasonable that he may have had regular meetings with his parole officer. Supporters of alternative theories have argued that if he was expecting an important meeting the following morning, it seems less likely that he would have intentionally spent the entire night drinking lean alone in his hotel room. That idea has led to speculation from some people that someone else may have been with Pimp C that night and could have played a role. However, no evidence has publicly confirmed those claims. Pimpy's mother, Wesland Mama Wes Monroe, publicly said she believed her son had been poisoned by someone who was at the Mandrian Hotel that night. She shared that belief with journalist Julia Beverly, who later wrote a biography about Pimpy. During an interview with Hot 107.9, Julia also said that Mama Wes remained completely convinced that her son's death was not an accident and believed foul play was involved. Well, his mom believes he was and she basically breaks down the reasons why she believes that. I couldn't really, there's some circumstantial evidence that might make you like that. But a lot of people have heard that he died of a codeine overdose, which is not true at all. That was actually, the day he passed or the day that the results of the tests and whatnot were announced. The coroner said, he did not overdose. And then you had all these newspapers that said that he did overdose. So that was just irresponsible media that came up. His mom thinks he was poisoned and there was someone with him when he passed who was a very shady, strange character. So there was actually a person of interest according to his mother that she believed had something. But here's where the story takes another unexpected turn. One of the people Pimp was reportedly supposed to meet while he was in California was DJ Paul of 36 Mafia. Later DJ Paul said he heard from Pimp's manager Rick Martin that the hotel room looked far different than he expected. He also claimed Pimp was found in a praying position with candles nearby and what he described as red stains on the walls. Rick Martin was the person who identified Pimpy's body. And according to DJ Paul's account, Martin described a shocking scene. DJ Paul recalled him saying he was lying down like he was praying, but there was blood around like he was shot. They thought he was shot in the head, but they didn't know what the hell happened because there was blood everywhere. They thought he was shot. He was kneeling down like he was praying and the candles were all the way burnt down. So, they knew he'd probably been dead for a day or so because he always lit those candles to sleep. Those statements have circulated for years, although they have not been officially confirmed by investigators because of stories like that. Many fans have questioned whether the official explanation tells the whole story. Some have even shared their own theories about the unusual details surrounding the room, but none of those ideas have been proven. The unanswered questions are a big reason the case continues to spark debate even after all these years. Long before social media became what it is today, Pimp had built a reputation for speaking his mind without holding back. He regularly gave outspoken interviews, challenged people in the music business, and made bold claims about what he believed was happening behind the scenes. That reputation made him one of the most talked about voices in hip-hop. Some fans believe his comments put him at odds with several influential figures, including Jay-Z. Jay has since described their relationship as respectful despite creative differences. But others have argued their disagreements went much deeper. Pimp had publicly criticized Jay-Z on multiple occasions, including over comments involving Tupac, whom Pimp greatly respected. According to UK's former manager, Dame Dash even offered a large payment to get Pimpy to appear on the track. The manager claimed that Pimp's response was that the money should instead be given to Tupac's mother, showing just how strongly he stood by his beliefs. Instantly, "'Cause I knew y'all at the house, right? I was like, yo, I'm excited. I got $1 million. This is it. Rockefeller is the destination, I called Pimp and they these fighting." So, I calmed them down and then once Pimp locked in, he was like, "Wait a minute, Rock. Ain't that where Jay-Z at?" I was like, "Yeah." And I didn't get the connection. He was like, "Tell him to take that check over to Tupac mama, and give it to for stealing our Tupac." And I'm like, "What?" I put him on that Pac life point. He went once I let him hear that Tupac, he went on his mission for, and while Pimpy did eventually agree to appear on Big Pimping, that didn't necessarily mean he and Jay-Z became close friends. People who were around the situation have described the collaboration as business rather than a personal bond. The tension was reportedly real, and Bun B has said it took some serious reverse psychology just to get Pimp C to even consider doing the collaboration in the first place. Even after the song became a huge success, Pimp C reportedly wasn't especially impressed. To him, it was simply business, nothing more. Paid to be on Big Pip. We didn't have that relationship. And to be honest, I don't think Pimp would have accepted a Jay-Z verse to be of equal value to him. So, let's just break this bread and be done with it. And to be honest, Pimp and Jay didn't really have a relationship in that sense. There was a lot of mutual respect, but Hob and I were always closer. You know what I'm saying? I ended up getting a feature. You know what I'm saying? But no, it was really just about like we worked very hard to get where we are. We are successful now for being purely who we have always said we were. Our Why and Dirty, most critically acclaimed album we ever released. Gold album, not one music video. You know what I'm saying? And to get to that point and to possibly, in his mind, throw it all away cause this dude want to pay you some money to do a verse on a beat that you would never rap to. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like a lot, and it took a lot to kind of bring him back around to the idea of being a part of it to the point where I just like reverse psychology like don't do it then it don't even work out. We ain't going to do it. I'm just telling we ain't going to do you don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm alright peeweeing and I'm going to do he was glad it worked out, but Big Pimping was not like in his top 10 UG songs, like he didn't even want to do another one. On top of all that, there have also been rumors over the years about Pimp C and Beyoncé before her relationship with Jay-Z. There were even unverified claims from some people in the industry that Pimp C had a private recording involving Beyoncé and was threatening to release it. However, none of those claims have been substantiated and there is no public evidence confirming that story. Some fans believe the bigger issue wasn't personal at all, but Pimp C's outspoken views about the music business. He frequently criticized parts of the industry and spoke up for independent and smaller artists, arguing they deserved better treatment and a fairer share of the money they helped generate. Supporters of that view say his willingness to challenge powerful industry practices made him a controversial figure, drawing comparisons to other artists, such as Prince, who also publicly criticized major record labels and the way the music business operated. Radio has been killed. Every playlist is the same all over the country. It wasn't like that back then. You could fly on an airplane and go to different places. And every city you went to, they had a different song on the chart heard anywhere else. And when you looked at the charts and looked at the different regions, and saw what records was hot in the different regions, it'd be different records a lot of times at the number one spot depending on what was hot in that region. When these two companies bought up all the radio stations, and then started controlling all the playlist and started putting handcuffs and bracelets on the DJs, they stopped all that. So everywhere you go, you hear the same record playing and they make them play it all day long. You might catch something in the M show. There's only a few hours in the day to be able to play the records. So the records you catching in the Me show is the records that the majors is trying to break. The independent dudes don't never get no play no more. So man, you know, and then Pimp C took things a step further by publicly talking about the idea of artists organizing and having a stronger collective voice. He believed musicians should have more leverage when dealing with the business side of the industry. Supporters of that idea argue that greater unity among artists could shift the balance of power and help them negotiate for fairer treatment and better opportunities. I'm just trying to bring some more unity into this rap thing and squash all the BS. You know what I'm talking about. All the people. If it ain't about no money, man, it really ain't about nothing. So, what we're trying to do is all come together and unionize at some stage in this game and stop the record coming to people from taking advantage of us, cause that's really what's going on. They laugh at us when we go to war with each other and a bottle of paper. And as long as we're going to war, they're going to run the South and run the industry. So, we got to get up off the, and that's exactly why so many people believe Pimp C stood out. He wasn't afraid to challenge the way parts of the music industry operated or speak up for artists he felt weren't getting a fair deal. Now, was Jay-Z directly involved in Pimp's death? There's no public evidence proving that, and it wouldn't be fair to claim otherwise. What is clear is that the two men were viewed very differently by many fans. Pimpy built a reputation for openly criticizing parts of the industry, while Jay-Z became one of its biggest and most successful figures. That contrast continues to spark debate to this day. What do you think about everything we've covered? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your take. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with someone who follows hip-hop history, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next.